A very good day to you and welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is General Kabira. It is always a pleasure to have you joining us. I'm here with Herman Manyora. Great to see you, Prof. How are you doing this particular day?
Great.
Sambamba.
Sambamba.
Our conversation is all about our court's corridors. There's conversation about the lifting of conservatory orders so that Kindiki Interior CS can be sworn in as our deputy president. Let's start from logic. I think we need to. There's this case that is supposed to determine whether Gachagua was properly impeached. Should someone else be sworn in before we determine this particular case?
Not even logic, common sense. No. What is the hurry for? We have sufficient time. If we can process a presidential petition in 14 days, and here we have 74 days, why can't we just hear everybody out? Then people will go, they have lost, or they have won, but they know there was due process. Everybody was given a fair chance to be heard, to say what they had to say. The court has decided in this manner. If there's appeal, you appeal. Supreme Court, you go. We have enough time. What is the hurry for?
So I'm asking you, you're talking about the hurry, but I'm also asking you, is there even a case?
A case for?
For lifting of the conservatory orders.
That one cannot even be. I'm wondering, why should anybody go to court? I mean, it doesn't add up.
You listen
the
to
math is not mathing.
Mathing.
It's not. I mean, when I see the AG going to ask, I feel sorry.
You listen to Githu Muigai, and he's presenting a case of this being a political process. Them saying that the judiciary should step away from this. What happened in
You know,
Senate
I've been
and
a big advocate for that. You know that.
Yes.
Over the years, including petitions, presidential. I've said politicians are people of bad manner. They should be left with their game. The judiciary should not enter. But the judiciary has to send a signal, a message to politicians. You have to do your things right. So it was not enough that the presidential election of 2017 was nullified. People had to pay for it so that nobody will repeat that. I could see the Supreme Court hiding here and here in this. No. Somebody had to pay for messing that election so that nobody will mess the elections again. And therefore, the Supreme Court will not again decide for the people of Kenya who is their president. Similar here. The judiciary must tell politicians, this is your game. Play it, but play it in a way that convinces the people of this country. You are playing according to the rules, according to the constitution, and you respect the people of Kenya.
If you listen to one Githu Muigai saying that this is why the courts do not even determine a sentencing if you have been found to have made gross violations, you know, as Gachagua has done, because of Senate's impeachment. Does this mean they should actually stay away because they are not even involved in coming up with verdicts post-impeachment?
A lot of arguments have been advanced. Let's hear them out. But we must do this thing in such a way we are not going to come back to this situation again. The politicians will have known, much as is your game, they are beacons. Operate within those beacons. It's your game, but within the beacons. And they respect the people of Kenya. The people of Kenya have elected a president and a deputy president. Be careful how you impeach one of them. Don't be contemptuous to the people of Kenya. Let them see really a strong reason why you are impeaching somebody. Much as you don't have to have a good reason. But do not offend the people of Kenya.
Oh, you listen.
And if there are processes defined in the constitution, follow those processes. Where you must consult the people of Kenya in an explicit or implicit manner as provided for. If you are given 60 days to process a name given to you as parliament by the president, don't do it in 2 hours or 1 hour. You are given 60 days. Consult the people of Kenya. They must be told those things so that they will have their game, they will play it, but they should not do it in such a way that they offend the people of this country, and they offend the constitution and the laws of this country.
Advocate Ongoya goes and asks the same question you're asking. Senate has made its impeachment determination at around midnight,
Yes.
1 a.m.
Yes.
In the morning, we have a name of Kithure Kindiki, which has already passed through IEBC,
Yes.
which has already been verified by our KRA.
Yes.
You listen to this as a judge.
Yes.
Is this reason enough to say, a conservatory order first, let's put it aside?
I may not bother about processing of the name by KRA and the IBC. That's neither here nor there, because the president was not just discovering Kindiki after Senate passed. The president has known all along he wants to give Kindiki the job. So he's done the paperwork. That's not an issue. The issue is the proceedings at Senate end at night, and there's a Gazette notice almost immediately. And the National Assembly, which doesn't normally sit on Friday, has already gazetted us sitting on that Friday. That gazettement has been done on a Thursday. Before Senate makes it, that doesn't add up.
How about Ndegwanjiru's argument about the constitution of IEBC's
Yes.
commissioners? They are not there.
Yes.
What role does Secretariat have to play? It's supposed to be administrative when it comes to these other matters.
Yeah, we find ourselves in a very tricky situation. A strict reading of the law will mean that you cannot process a name without IBC. But those are some of the things that could be overlooked.
Oh.
Those are some of the technicalities I think could be overlooked. You cannot fail to get a deputy president merely because IBC has currently constituted. It's a very thin role. It's not a very serious step.
Let me ask you about now a bigger issue. I think last time we talked about Haminoa, but there's this petitioner called Mwangi Wanjiru, I believe, Wanjiku Mwangi, who raises a question of, you lift these conservatory orders, one. Kithure Kindiki becomes the deputy president.
Yes.
Something happens to the president, he becomes the president. Then the courts come and tell us that, look, there was flaw in this process of impeaching Rigathi Gachagua.
Yes.
Where do you bring Rigathi Gachagua in this equation? Do you force Kithure Kindiki to impeach himself as the president now?
Yes.
What do you make of this? Let me just play that clip first.
Yes.
The real conundrum in a nutshell is as simple as this. If the deputy president assumes office and then the president is unwell and the judiciary does in fact find the impeachment process was flawed from the National Assembly due to violations of the Constitution, what then? Will the acting president impeach himself as a deputy president? Can he even? Is it even possible, and who would enforce those orders?
What do you make of this particular situation?
It is awkward. There is nothing under the sun. I have scratched to try and find any reason that will make somebody move to court to seek the orders to be lifted so that the Kindiki is sworn in. Even for Kindiki's own good, it's not good. Even for the president's own good. What is the hurry for? You may find yourself in a very awkward situation. Because you are saying, let's continue with the hearing. Let's see whether Gachagua was impeached properly. Whether he has lost his office or should lose his office. But in the meantime, let's swear in somebody else. Even a village woman will tell you that's nonsense. Anybody will tell you it's nonsense. People are stopping me and telling me, what are these people saying? Kuna mtu ameniambia, kwani maloya wanaona sisi ni wajinga kiasi gani? Wanatubeba ufala, wanasema hivyo?
Yeah.
Many people are asking me. These people think we are very stupid. Those are Kenyans who are wondering, how can you swear in somebody and proceed with the case?
Will there be bias if Kindiki is made deputy president and this case still continues? Do you think there would be bias because system would be mambo inaendelea now?
Yes.
Would there be biasness against Rigathi Gachagua?
Even where is the energy? Even where is the motivation to go on with the case?
Okay.
This is a monumental issue for this country. It must be decided fairly, firmly, once for all, at all levels. Let the High Court pronounce itself. Let the Court of Appeal pronounce itself. Let the Supreme Court come. They do whatever they do. Kama wanataka wafanye ile kitu wafanye, but let them do it. So that now when we swear in Kindiki, we know it's until 2027 or until he's removed by impeachment or something else. Not to hear, oh, Kindiki now, oh, sorry, oh, can you please leave current residence? Gachagua is coming back. That is childish.
That is what Tom Ojenda argued, I think, when it came to Wajir's case.
Yes.
He says, look, this governor was found impeached and then the courts brought him back to office.
Yes.
We can still make Kindiki our deputy. If things are overturned, atatoka tu.
People, how about that lady you said about vacancy of
Yes.
there being a vacant in the office of the president? Then the man there now has already become president. Then you find that he's not fit to be DP, but he has become president on account of being DP.
Yes.
So what are we talking about? Why do we want to create awkward situations? And look here, it is not so much about Kindiki and Gachagua. This is what I will tell the courts. Next time I'm going to go to court. Any time like this, I'll go to court as an interested party. What I will tell the courts even now is we are not talking about Kindiki. We are not talking about Gachagua. We are talking about tomorrow. Because any time a situation like this arises, conservative orders will be given and lifted. Now, people will be sworn in. Why do we want to create situations like those in the future? Because they will happen. It may not happen now. The situation that lady gives where you swear in a deputy president, something happens to the president, or a vacancy is occasioned, he takes over only to be told, look here, after your deputy hukufaa kuwa, watch a president.
And now he's the president.
Yeah. And also another lawyer argued, court orders must be enforceable. How are you going to enforce this order against the president? Now Kindiki, wewe hata kama wewe ni president, toka hapa. Toka State House.
Does even do the courts have the jurisdiction to tell him?
Yes.
She asked the same question.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a simple matter. It's a no-brainer. It's a common sense thing. The courts are even wasting our time and our resources and our money discussing things which ought not to be discussed at all. At all. Because Kindiki will be sworn in and he will finish his term very well. How about 50 years from now? The courts will follow the same thinking.
What precedents do you expect from our courts? If they make this ruling, whether to lift or not, I believe they can make it either on Thursday or a day after.
Yes.
What precedents do you expect the courts to make with regards to this Gachagua's case?
If they lift the orders, then we have no judiciary. I'm sorry to say that. I'm willing to be taken anywhere to say it. Before the Supreme Court, before the Court of Appeal, before the High Court. We will have no courts. No.
It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. You lift the orders, what are we left with? Today, Kindiki will do his job fine. 50 years from today, this thing will come back to haunt Kenyans. It will eat us. It will create a civil war in the country.
It may not be 50 years. You say we are now woke. You say that.
Yeah, you know what? You can put the country in a civil war. Because you have to, if you look at history, wars have been fought within kingdoms, civil wars. What is the main cause of a civil war? Please, I'm asking these judges and lawyers. Muwe mukisoma kidogo. Whenever we have two claimants to a throne, that's the main source of a civil war. Two people claiming the same throne. And this is the situation the courts want to create if they lift the orders in future. There will be two people, each of them qualified, each of them entitled to the presidency or deputy presidency. You can create a civil war in the country. So, to lift the conservative orders, to me, my own personal conclusion is that we have no judiciary. That I will not, this one I'm willing to say anywhere, at any risk, that you lift the conservative orders. It doesn't make sense to a vast majority of Kenyans, including those who support Kindiki and the President Ruto. It doesn't make sense to them. What is the hurry? Let people be heard. Let us exhaust this thing. Let us get to the logical conclusion. Let us know Kindiki is now stepping in. And the most important thing to me The take home from the judiciary would be politicians will have now been told, this is your game, play it. Nobody should interfere, not even ask the judiciary, but play within the rules. One, although it is not a requirement, do not slap the people of Kenya in the face. Don't bring childish reasons to impeach a president. Don't. Don't impeach a deputy president for things that Kenyans can't understand. Things that don't make sense at all. Although that is not legal, it's not constitutional. Let's start there. Secondly, if the process has been defined, please follow the process. Thirdly, where you must involve the people of Kenya, please do so. Especially because the deputy president is now being chosen for the people by parliament. Surely, it's not asking for too much that you consult the same people as you get rid of the one they elected, for you to give them another one. Please consult them. And finally, when the president has come up with a name to replace the one people had chosen, parliament, you have 60 days. Involve the people of Kenya. So you involve them in the impeachment. Once you get a name, you involve them in looking at this name. Would the people of Kenya be happy that Kindiki becomes the deputy president? Involve them. Let's see that involvement. So once the courts have settled that issue, in the future they will play their game nicely, and the courts should never, ever interfere. But for now, we must tell them, being your game doesn't mean you play the way you want, in complete disregard of the constitution, of the laws of the land, and of the people of this country.
Well, what a conversation about what is happening with regards to Gachagua's impeachment. Should the court orders actually, conservatory orders be lifted? What do you think? Does it make sense for you? Leave a comment down below. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a lovely day.
Time to reach that willing buyer.